So today we're talking Tiger Woods, arguably the best golfer in the world to ever play. Obviously some might say Jack Nicklaus might be better. They're both great players. What we want to look at today is a couple of the things that Tiger did to make him so consistent and guarantee that kind of great ball contact that he was known for. Let's get stuck in. So I want to look today particularly at Tiger's arm action. And having spent some time with Claude Harmon and been on numerous conferences with Butch Harmon, there's a principle that they work on with their players that is part of this process I want to talk about today. And we're really talking about how the arms are positioned at the top of the backswing. And it's one of the things that Butch has as his kind of disciplines that he has to see with his players he coaches, or wants to see, let's put it that way. I'm sure he wouldn't walk away from an elite player that's making him a lot of money if they didn't do this, but he certainly wants them to do this in the golf swing. So what we're looking at really is this line here I've got just to the side of my trail foot at the top of the backswing. Let me get set up to this ball as if I'm hitting it down the fairway. At the top of the backswing, Butch wanted to see both hands, so this kind of joint here, to be to the side of that, to have that width in the golf swing. Now you might say, why is this important? Having the arm width in the backswing is crucial to allowing the arms to try and get in front of the hip on the way down. Now we all want to have dynamic, fast spinning body parts on the way down and try and be a bit more what you might think is body led. But if the arms are traveling too far and get too behind the head, and then you start to move your body dynamically, nearly always this club is going to be left trailing behind the body and you'll feel stuck. And what it'll give you in terms of outcomes is a shot that will go horrendously to the right. So you'll be in this kind of blocked position and the ball will go a million miles to the right. Or you'll produce a big hooking shot because the arms are here, they throw themselves out to the right with the hand path and the hands work like crazy to try and get that ball on target. So obviously none of those are desirable. We want the golf swing to be easy and effortless. And if we can get these arms in a wider position in the backswing, that allows them then naturally to get the self-timing and synchronization on the way down that we're looking for, golf then becomes easy. So have this one thing for the backswing, and then we're going to cover one thing for the downswing, but have this one thing for the backswing as your kind of, okay, can I get the golf club consistently wider, and if anything, a little shorter in the backswing? You might be a bit scared by going shorter that that's going to reduce your power, and yet possibly it might well do. But adding width increases power, so we end up probably in the same place, but obviously a lot more consistent, and we're able to deliver those arms and body matched up more at contact. So a little bit more detail. What I ideally like to see in the backswing is the arms start the backswing, load the wrists, and then feel that the body drags the arms to finish the backswing. So we want the arms and body kind of running out of their journey at the same time. What I see with a lot of golfers is there's sometimes a lot of turn early on, then the arms kind of collapse, overrun, and sometimes it's the other way around. So the more we can match things up, and starting with the arms helps us to match up the timing and the finish of the backswing. So just using this rod here, and then trying to feel, okay, at the top of the swing, we're looking for a structure where the hands feel to the side of this rod at the top of the swing is the first step. So if I just try and hit a ball now, trying to feel my arms are going to be short and wide in the top of the backswing, that's the first step. And that felt incredibly controlled. I was really happy with the shot. Good contact, very straight ball flight, decent distance. It's not the maximum distance I could hit it. If I put a bigger style John Daly swing on it, I'm sure I could create a bit more power, but certainly wouldn't create that control. And we're looking for that consistency with optimized distance is probably what I'm saying here. If you're the kind of player that something visually on the ground doesn't quite cut it for you, then try this. So I've got a rod now out of a shaft stuck in the same location to the side of me. And if I take my setup again to the ball, I want now to make sure that my arms only just make contact with that rod. I don't want them crashing, I don't want the wrist hitting that rod. So we'd use this as a constraint. We try and feel that this gets almost shorter and wider, and then we feel like we can hit it as hard as we want on the way down. And there's nothing wrong when we're doing this, making some what we would feel deliberate backswings, making the backswing feel a little bit slower and shorter. Didn't hit that one quite as straight. Nudged this probably a little bit more than I wanted to, but it's a learning journey. We'd put that in there, try and spend 5-10 minutes working on that to get the backswing shorter and wider. And that will help the structure of the arms, hopefully the structure of wrists. We still want to load those wrists early, and then that will help the timing of the arms and body on the way down. But the next bit we're going to look at is how we can improve that timing of the arms and the body on the way down also. So I'm quite big on this move on the downswing, and I've covered this in a few of my videos, but I want the arms to feel like they push the hips. I want the arms to feel like they're winning the race. Scientifically, the legs and hips are going to win the race, then the torso, then the arms, then the club head. What I'm saying to you is most golfers, because of the backswing, will sometimes not get those arms to win the race on the way down, and they get that kind of stuck behind, out of sequence, out of sync position, which is, as we said already, not where we want to be. So when we look at Tiger, what we see with Tiger is there's definitely an arm move down and a patience to his rotation. And that word patience is the key. There is rotation, but we want to feel like there's no rotation. We want to feel like we can get this left arm pretty much down to kind of parallel before we feel the rotation starts to happen. There is lateral movement, so there's a sideways movement. And what happens is the lower half will move, the upper half responds, so it is slightly recentering and re-squaring, if you want to use that as a word, as the arms go down. But I want to feel that the arms go down and forward, so go low and go forward as the main objective conscientiously. So when I'm at the top of my swing here, the feeling is to stay closed, let the legs go, and let the lead arm go to this shaft here on the ground. And we do that for a few practice swings, trying to feel that we're being patient with that rotation, but feeling that we're still shifting our pressure, we're still shifting the arm forward, we're trying to feel that the arm gets as close to target, we're not trying to unwind those wrists, we are letting them naturally do their thing. So if we try and constantly keep the wrist, that probably ends up in some misery, which I'll talk about in a different video. But just feeling we get those arms forward and down is the first thing. Then move the shaft a little bit further away, or the rod. So it's a visual now as opposed to something you're going to try and hit. And then when we go and hit this golf ball, we're trying to feel the wide arms, the arms lead, and the patience in the rotation. That's what I'm going to try and feel in this golf swing. And that one, pure butter off the club face. I can't hit it any better than that. The divot for me was perfect. It wasn't too deep. It was after the ball. The penetration and direction on that golf shot, I couldn't be happier with. And we're looking at the two principles that Tiger Woods kind of, one consciously tries to do, and two comes natural. Well, I know sometimes on his journey with different coaches, the arm swing got a little bit longer, probably under the Hank Haney regime, but it was still wide and short compared to most amateur golfers. Give this arm swing a try to become a more consistent version of you.